पूर्वावतंसे चरितं वदामि आत्मा श्रियैवै भवतां परेशम् देव्यं व्रतां द्रगदतां सरितं सहेद्रम् ज्ञानैव तुल्य भवतां भवपूर्वरूपम्.
Bramhandopanishad is a very important ancient text because in it all the basics of human life has been explained in detail. For the first time, the questions related to human life were analyzed and solutions to them were found. It has been clearly stated that life is not just something bracketed between birth and death. In total ignorance, we have confined life to a small circle. We think that life commences with the birth and ends with death. But this is not the correct and complete definition of life. This definition does not come out to be true because life is not just what we consider it to be. This is merely a part of the complete life process. Even before the present life, we must have existed. We may have been present on the earth itself or in heaven. We may have been in human forms or as spirits. The body exists only for a limited time period, but life is something which exists free of the shackles of a physical form. We had a life even before this birth, and it will continue even after we die. It is very unfortunate that we are not capable enough to see our previous births and that we do not have such powers to see what shall happen to us after the present lifespan ends. Suppose we are in a room which is 10 feet long and a long rope passes through this room. Sitting in it, we shall only be able to see 10 feet of the rope, even though it may be 10 times longer. But unfortunately, we consider only this part of rope which we see to be the complete rope, when in fact the two ends of the rope may be several feet away from the two doors of the room. Similarly, we consider what we see of life to be complete, whereas life existed before the present birth and shall continue even after death. The Shastras say that body is perishable. When the clothes become old and worn out, they are thrown away and new clothes are obtained. Similarly, when the body becomes weak, infirm and old, then the soul leaves that body and takes new birth. But life continues. It was there when the former body existed, and it is still there in the new body. Even the thoughts and experiences of the previous life are connected with the present life, and even the memories and events of the former are linked with the present life. But unfortunately, we do not remember all of them. This is why we consider our previous lives to be separate and the present life to be complete in itself. If we wish to understand life, if we wish to unravel all its subtle mysteries, then it would be necessary to know about our previous lives because our present life is a part of all our previous ones. This is very much true that the cause of all our gains, losses, happiness, sorrows and ailments lies in the previous births. Our spouses in the present life must also have been linked with our previous life. The wife, daughter, son, lover, friend or foe in our present lives must have been there in the previous life, and they must have been related to us in some way or the other, and the kind of relation we had with them in the previous life could determine why we are so linked up with them in the present. It may be that your husband or wife may not have been your spouse in your previous life, or that he or she may have been your staunch enemy. It may be that your wife in the present life may have been acquainted to you. You may have deceived her and caused harm to her. She may not have been able to retaliate at that moment, and hence she may have entered your present life as your wife. And the constant disagreement, quarrels, and ill will between you two may be a part of the revenge which he is now taking. Similarly, your present husband may not have been your life partner in the previous life, but may have been some friend whom you deceived. And to take revenge, he may have entered your present life as your husband and make your life hell. The reality behind the relation of a husband and wife can be known only through the previous life. Just think for a moment why you do not have a harmonious relation with your life partner, why there is no love, why there is constant mistrust, tensions between you, and why there is no happiness in your life. On the other hand, you may have a soft corner for a person who is not your married partner and is even living far from you. Why do you have such feelings for him? Why do you feel that he can prove to be a better life partner? Why do you feel happy and elated on meeting some other woman? Why does her image remain constantly before your eyes? Why is it so? Looking at your present life, you may not be able to perceive any reason for this. You have met only once. She lives far away and there is no possibility of you marrying her. But still you feel a deep longing to meet her and you develop a love for her. Why? The cause of all this lies hidden in your previous life. The person for whom you experience so much love, who always remains in your thoughts, may have been your lover or life partner in the previous birth. Due to social obligations, you may not be able to establish marital relations with that person, but marriage is only a physical bond, not necessarily a union of souls and lives. The soul will consider only the partner of the previous life as the real spouse. The body, the society may consider it wrong, but the soul shall identify it as the only truth. The society may consider such a relation to be against social norms, but the society is related only to the body, and when the body perishes, so do all the social norms. The society may say that you cannot love someone other than your spouse, but in fact, the life, the soul are linked only with one's true love and shall remain so in spite of all the bonds and shackles. Even if we try, we won't be able to banish the thoughts, the image of the person from our mind. There shall always remain a liking for that person. The fear of social disgrace may always be an obstacle and may hinder the path of true love, but it shall never be able to subdue the feelings of the heart. This is why there is a yearning in your heart. This is why you feel pained. This is why there is no love between you and your wife. This is why you develop sweet relations with other women. This is why you don't have good relations with your wife, son, daughter and friends. And this is why the person on whom you have full faith deceives you. It may be that you may have deceived him in your previous birth and he may now be taking revenge. This is why the children become so adamant. This is why, despite a good atmosphere in the house, the daughter chooses a wrong way of life. The intricate web of life cannot be understood by just studying the present one. We can't understand why there is tension in the married life, why we don't trust each other, why we are so poor in spite of such hard labor, why we remain ill, why we cannot achieve success in sadhanas, why we feel so close to someone else, why we feel so happy on meeting that person, and why he always remains in our thoughts. These questions may pertain to our present lives, but they can be solved only by studying them in context to the events of our previous lives. Then everything shall surely become clear to us. Then you shall know that the person whom you consider as your husband is actually your enemy. To know all this, we shall have to discover the sadhana through which we shall be able to see our previous lives. This much must now be quite clear, that the events of our previous birth affect our relations in the present one, and these relations thus take shape accordingly. Eternal life is more important and valuable than the physical form. Hence, the relations of the previous births cannot be ignored. Until we revive those true relations, we won't experience joy and contentment, and life shall have no value or significance. Then what are the methods through which we can see our previous lives? How can we know where we were born, where we grew up, with whom we married, who all came into our contact, how we were related to them, how we led our lives, how we died, and how we came to be in our present lives? It is necessary to link the present life with the previous life, for only then shall we be able to find solutions to our present problems. Otherwise, we generally face with such problems in our lives that there seems to be no respite from them. Several questions flood our mind. Why does a person who day and night keeps praying to the God remain poor? Why does a sinful, vicious and wicked person who always resorts to immoral deeds remain rich and respected in society? Why does my business not flourish? Why did my son die? Why is there so much disharmony between me and my wife? Why am I not rich? How have my relations with the Guru been? Why do I feel so close and so much attached to him in spite of being physically so far from him? Why do I feel so much love and devotion for him? Why do I wish to see him again and again? Why does one experience such bliss in his company? The answers to all these questions are linked to the previous life, and until one sees the previous life, until the mysteries pertaining to it are unraveled, till then the present life cannot be understood. It may be that just as you are here in the present life, you may have existed in the previous lives. This is quite true that you must have been present in the Dwapar age and must have witnessed of Maha. You may have been acquainted with Krishna. You may have seen him as a friend or foe. You may have heard him playing the flute. You may have roamed about with him on the banks of river Yamuna, and you may have enjoyed his company. There must be some way of seeing all this. There is no doubt that you existed in Dwapar in the age of Krishna. You also existed in the times of Shankaracharya, Goraknath, Buddha and Mahavir. But what or who were you? Where were you and in which state were you? It is necessary to know all this. And when you come to know all this, you shall be able to hear Krishna playing on his flute. You shall be surprised to see that he is also present in your present life in some other guise, quite different from the image you may have seen of him in the pictures. And you shall find that you are acquainted with him even now. In other words, you may be linked in some way to him in your present life. You may even be linked with Shankaracharya. He was an ascetic in his earlier life, but now he may be living as a simple householder. It is very unfortunate that your eyes are not powerful enough to recognize the actual forms. You are not able to identify with the forms of Shankaracharya, Buddha, Mahavir and Krishna because they are now in different guises. Even though their souls are the same, you are still related to them, and you can realize their true forms if you know a method through which you could see your previous lives and could thus relate the events of those lives with your present one. It is only then that your present life shall be filled with joy, and you shall be able to recognize Krishna in his present form. Thus you shall be able to spend each moment of your life in the feet of such a great and unique personality. We shall be very unfortunate if we are not able to recognize such a great person who is present amongst us. What is the use of spending our lives in useless tasks when such a great fortune awaits us? Believe me, we can obtain this fortune, and only when we realize the true value of this time shall we be able to meet him and come close to him. He has to take birth again and again, and you too shall be born time and again. But take care lest you lose contact with him, lest your eyes become so weak that you are not even able to recognize him. This is the true basis and soul of life. This is the conscience and the devotion of life, and it is necessary to understand it. We can see our lives of previous births in two ways. One, through the help of our Guru, who is competent, accomplished, and who has the divine powers to see not only his own but even the previous lives of others. When one sits down in his feet, then one can ask him, where was I born? Where was I brought up? What was my relation to the person now known to me in the previous life? And the Guru shall help in revealing all the facts, because he wants you to see everything clearly. You only need to have full faith and devotion in him. You must be close to him and must have spiritual contact with him. Then the Guru shall be able to make you see your previous life clearly. He has been a witness to all your lives, and in each life you have been in contact with him. And he can tell you how everyone in your life was earlier related to you. You can even go to the place he tells you and verify all that he says. Suppose he tells you that you were born at a particular place, you grew up, married such and such woman, and then led life in such and such way. Then you can go to the place revealed by him and can confirm all that he has said. Thus the curtain which is obstructing your vision shall be raised, and you shall be able to see everything clearly. The Guru shall not only be able to reveal facts about your previous life, but even about the lives before it. And there should be a thrill and enthusiasm in you to know where you spent your previous lives, how you led those lives, with whom you came into contact, and how these persons were now influencing your present life. Thus you shall be able to decide how to deal with each person in your life. This is one way which is easy and simple. The second method is Brahmand sadhana. By accomplishing this sadhana, you shall be able to see the events of several previous lives. But this sadhana can be accomplished only with the help of a Guru. It's been elucidated in Bramhandopanishad regarding this sadhana that if a person, a man or a woman, desires to see all his previous lives, then he should go to the Guru and obtain Brahmand Diksha from him. Thus he becomes entitled to accomplish Brahmand sadhana. After obtaining Brahmand Diksha, the sadhana which lasts for 21 days should be performed. The Brahmand yantra should be placed before oneself, and all the parts of one's body should be sanctified with the Urdhvagami mantra. This method can be taught in detail only by a Guru. Then according to the method elucidated by the Guru, one should accomplish 5 lakh chantings of the Brahmand mantra with full devotion, so that one's whole body becomes linked with the universe. Thus by accomplishing this sadhana, one shall become capable of controlling one's Sukshma Sharir and shall be able to take the soul back in time to see the previous lives. Thus one attains the capability to see the previous lives and return to the present life, retaining all the images from the past. Through the Brahmanda sadhana, we can not only see the previous lives, but can even foresee our lives in the future. Where shall I be reborn? Will I be able to enter into Siddhashram? Will I be able to stay in Siddhashram? Thus by knowing all this, we can improve our lives for the better. Brahmanda mantra is an important and secret mantra. The Guru instills the powers of this mantra into the body and soul of the person. He establishes the mantra in the Sahasrar, Agya Chakra, Swadhisthana Chakra and Muladhar of the disciple when he gives Diksha. Thus the whole body is filled with a divine force and the person is able to feel his Sukshma Sharir and becomes capable of taking it into the past and see his previous life. He is able to see all events just as we see a motion picture on a television and everything becomes clear before his eyes. He is able to see all the people related to him, all his actions and all his deeds of previous births. If you wish to attain true joy in life, if you wish to reveal the mysteries of life, if you want to know what the essence of life is, then you should surely accomplish Brahmanda sadhana, because this sadhana is the basis of all other sadhanas. If there is a Guru in your present life who has the knowledge of Brahmanda sadhana, who is competent to give Brahmanda Diksha, who can fill your lives with divinity and with vastness of the universe, then you should not waste even one moment and should go and obtain Diksha from him. Any delay could mean forsaking a chance of a lifetime. I bless you and may you achieve all this.